Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Pretty exciting for me today because we've got some equipment from a brand that we haven't reviewed for the last couple of years. We have Titleist, right? Back in our kind of review schedule, if you like. We're a little bit behind schedule, so the products that we've got here actually came out last year, but we are really excited to test them. Titleist is a brand that is synonymous with golf and golf performance, and you'll see loads of the best players in the world using their equipment out on all the major tours. I've been sent a TSR3 Driver, TSR3 Fairway Woods, and TSR3 Hybrid, all spec'd up for me with the shafts that suit me the best, also thicker grips. So I'm really looking forward to these and seeing how they perform, because there's no excuses here really. These clubs have really been kind of fine-tuned for my game, and we should see some great results here when testing them. I'm also quite happy that I've got them at this time of year as well, because we've been doing so much club review work over the last month or so with all the new releases from all the various brands that have come out. So it'll be really good to see how these stack up against some of those. Obviously these have been on the market for a little while now, and whilst we didn't get to test them when they first came out, it'd be brilliant to put them against some of these newer drivers that we've seen released at the start of this year. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone at Acushnet as well for making this happen. We will endeavour to get over there a lot more, bring you some content from the fitting centre, as well as have a look at some of the new products that are hitting the market this year as well. So before we do that, let's have a bit of a chat about the technology of this range of clubs. So let's start with the driver. We know with Titleist that they're gonna look traditional, and to be honest, that's one of the nicest looking drivers I've seen for a long time. It kind of harks back to the ones I started using when I started playing golf. I was always a Titleist person growing up. I remember 983E was the first kind of custom driver I got, but I had the 975D before that, that kind of iconic driver that everyone absolutely loved at the time. And this is just as nice looking. I mean, that real kind of traditional look to it, that pear shape, I really like. Obviously in TS3, we've got a model here that's slightly lower spinning and maybe even looks a little smaller and more compact than some of the other models. But this is the model that's going to suit me the best. Okay, so let's have a talk about the tech. So there's a really interesting story around the face here. So we've got the speed ring variable face thickness technology in here. And basically what that is, as it sounds, a ring inside the face, variable thicknesses all over. You can't see this, it's inside the driver, but if we hit the heel and the toe, we're still going to get ball speeds that kind of resemble a more centered strike. So it lets us get away with it a little bit more. We've also got this movable weight on the back there as well, so we can actually make it more draw or fade bias should we want to, and shift that around. Like I say, it's a while since I've tested a Titleist driver. Probably the I think TS3 was the last one that I hit, which was a while ago now. But really liked that at the time, and yeah, I played a few rounds with it and absolutely loved it, and then kind of moved into another driver that I just got a little bit more forgiveness and a little bit more distance with. But yeah, certainly I've always been a lover of Titleist and can't wait to hit this. Right, so this driver, like I say, looks great, all the technology sounds great, and we've got to hit it on the Trackman. Let's have a look at the Fairway Wood. So as you can see, it looks absolutely great, but let's talk a little bit more about the kind of features of it. Like I say, looks, we can see in that playing position, looks absolutely beautiful, really kind of traditional look. Again, as we'd expect, the sort of TSR3 is a little bit lower CG because of this weight track in the bottom of it, bringing that down a little bit, helping to get a little bit more launch. We've got the weight slightly more towards the face as well, so basically what that's going to do is knock a bit of spin off. So for those players who do spin the ball a hell of a lot, this could help as well. And we've also got this sliding weight track, so we can really kind of fit that in there with a draw or fade bias as well. And we've obviously got the adjustability in the hosel that we see in Titleist product too. So this is a fairway wood that looks great behind the ball. It's got that traditional kind of groove pattern across the face as well. Really nice compact design, and can't wait to hit it. So we move on to the hybrid as well, and as you can see, looks really, really nice in that playing position, but also it's kind of that tour inspired shape to it as well. So Titleist take a lot of kind of input from the better players that they have on tour, and why wouldn't you, to come up with a hybrid that's really going to help control the launch as well. So again, we've got those nice kind of white grooves on the face. We've obviously got the adjustability in the hosel, and again we've got this adjustability in the sole here, so we can really move that weight around to try and help the different launch conditions that we're after. Again, this kind of high inertia sole is something that's going to mean that when we don't strike the middle of the face, we're going to get nice kind of straight ball flights, and hopefully something that more resembles a centered strike as well, even when we're not striking it particularly well. Titleist call this performance tuned adjustability. So that's this kind of sole weighting that we can move around here. It's going to be great through the rough, but also a really good option for people off the tee as well. So if you want in that kind of higher launching shot, something that's going to react a little bit more like a long iron would, but obviously with that great bit of forgiveness in there as well. If you're that player that struggles to stop long irons when they hit the ground, this type of club could really help. You're going to get more flight, a bit more height, slightly more spin probably, and just get it to stop on those greens. But enough about these products. Let's go hit them and see exactly how they perform on the Trackman. So we'll start off with TSR3 Hybrid, okay? This is the 3 Hybrid 19 degree, just set in the A1 standard position, and I've got the Tensai 1K Black X-Flex shaft in it as well, which is one that I've been trying with some of these new drivers actually. It's one of the ones that we have in the TaylorMade cart that we tried with QI10. I really like that as well. So we'll try it in this hybrid. Those of you that watch our content on the channel a lot will know that hybrids aren't generally my favourite golf clubs to hit. I tend to hit them left a lot, don't really like the look of them behind the ball. Always preferred long irons, but I know there's loads of you out there that absolutely swear by hybrids. You love them, and why not? For the reasons we talked about before, they go a bit higher, they stop a little bit faster on the greens, and spin a little bit more too. But I must say, looking down on this one, I really love that there's not too much going on the top of it. There's not even a Titleist symbol or anything. It's just a pure black gloss top on it, and it sits really nicely behind the ball. So let's have a bit of a hit with it and see how it performs. Like I say, that kind of behind the ball position is actually quite appealing and certainly nicer looking than most hybrids that I've tried. It doesn't look like I'm going to hit it left. It doesn't look really kind of toe up in the air, which a lot of hybrids are as well, which I quite like. So let's hit a few. It certainly sounds powerful off the face. Yep, a nice kind of lowish sort of flight. A little bit right to left, which is what I would normally see. But yeah, it's pretty powerful. Certainly a lower flight than I was expecting actually to start with. Let's hit a couple more. It feels very, very strong off the face and feels like it's coming off pretty quick when I'm hitting it. Let's hit a few more. Pulled that one a bit, but felt awesome off the face, really, really quick. It's just finished down the left-hand side, but it's okay. Let's hit a few more. A little bit of a toey one. Again, pretty similar result. Nice little draw. The thing I'm kind of impressed by is how they're not ballooning up in the air, and that's certainly something that I've found a lot when hitting hybrids, that they just tend to climb on me a lot, go very, very high. And I don't really get much distance with them, and certainly compared to how I would like to hit a long iron with a bit of a flatter flight and a little bit less spin generally, that's why I would generally choose that over a hybrid. But these seem to be quite nice sort of penetrating flight, and the strike feels good. The shaft also feels very, very good. Again, starting that down the right, and it's coming back nicely, so a little bit higher flight that time, But yeah, feels very, very good. I'm very surprised actually at how much I do like the feel of this. It almost reminds me of my 5-wood, which I absolutely love. The sort of, that kind of tingy kind of sound that comes off it. Doesn't sound carbony like a lot of the clubs do now, which I actually quite like. Again, that kind of adds to that traditional kind of feel and look that you associate with Titleist. I'm going to hit a few more now and then we'll move on to the fairway wood. So now we move on to the TSR3 Fairway Wood. So again, 3 wood, 15 degrees, A1 position. This time we've got tensile 1K black again, but 75 gram TX flex, so Tour extra stiff. So this is stiffer than most of the shafts that I would normally try, but to be honest, I've been wanting to try a Tour X flex shaft for a while, because particularly in fairway woods, I always find that bad one just moves over a little right to left. I have a bit of a tendency to kind of pull it. I'm not really found a shaft that I feel the tip section is stiff enough to stop that. So this kind of slightly lower torque and lower spin shaft that I've got, I always go for kind of lower spin ones, but this in this kind of Tour extra stiff should just feel that little bit more robust as well for me. So I'm going to hit a few off the ground again. Start off with looks great, love the shape of it behind the ball, so uncomplicated, just with the TSR logo on the top of it this time, which the hybrid didn't have, with that nice glossy finish to the top of it. I think it looks really good. So going back on the sort of reviews I've done the start of this season, been using a lot of fairway woods actually. So we've obviously used Paradigm AI Smoke, we've done QI 10 and all the different fairway woods that are in that range, as well as the Cobra stuff as well, which has been awesome. But yeah, I would say having done all that testing with them, a good 3 wood for me generally carries somewhere between 250 and 260 and runs out somewhere between 270 and 280. That's kind of the numbers that I generally see, and ball speeds around the kind of 160-ish sort of mark, maybe a little bit more. So let's see how this compares to those. It sounds really good off the face. Yeah, nice little draw, nice high flight there, which I quite like. Certainly looks quite powerful as well. I mean, that's the shot I really want to hit all the time, to be honest, when I'm playing. Just that kind of shot that starts just pretty straight, maybe just finishes left side of the fairway. Push that one a little bit, it didn't quite get it out the middle of the face, but it'll do. Let's hit one more. Love the sound of this, yeah, that sort of sound and feel off the face is very, very good. Again, not the best strike in the world, but we'll take it. It's kind of down the right hand side, trying its best to come back. Just kind of hit those last two a little bit toey. Let's just hit one more. A bit more out the middle. Good shot. Yeah, again, nice, high, quite easy to get the ball airborne with this. A little bit different to how the hybrid played actually, but it'll be interesting to see when we have a look at the results. Right, now let's hit the driver. This one I'm really looking forward to. A1 position, 9-degree head this, a little bit more loft than I would normally use, but that's kind of when I actually hit it and got fitted for it. It kind of worked the best for me on the day when I did that. Again, that same Tour X shaft, 65 gram this time, so a little bit lighter than the fairway wood, in the tensile 1K black. So let's give it a bit of a hit. Again, looks wise, lovely, TSR logo on the top of it, really nice compact pear-shaped head, something I would really gravitate towards if I was just going on looks anyway. So let's see how it compares to the 3 wood. Very good off the face, really nice and solid, which I quite like. Definitely got that kind of very distinctive sound when you hit a Titleist golf club. Just like when you hit a ping golf club, it's kind of that ringing louder sound that you get. With Titleist, it's kind of that, I don't know, a nostalgic sort of sound for me really, and it kind of reminds me of some of the drivers I used when I was younger, kind of growing up playing the game, and really, really like it, to be honest. The sound off the club face is something that I'll never tire of hearing, to be honest. Not as good a strike, maybe just pushed it a little bit, the heeling. Yeah, just dropped on ball speed a little bit, but still, I mean, it's gone pretty much 300 yards, so it's not too bad, but nowhere near where I want it to go. A bit better, possibly a little bit more towards the fairway, a little bit right again. See if we can actually hit one somewhere near where we want to. This is me, by the way, not the driver. Yeah, I mean, looking at the data on there, just leaving the face open a little bit. Path's pretty neutral, face is just a bit open. So let's try and get that face squared up. More like it, I think. Yeah, that kind of draw shape that I'm more accustomed to seeing. Just finishing on the left-hand side of the fairway, but again, pretty good. Ball speed looks quite good. Distance is good as well, so let's hit a few more. Solid. Feels really nice. Yeah, it feels great off the face. I can already see that the ball speeds are pretty good. The spins are kind of where I want them, and the distances are good too. But now I'm going to hit a few more with all the clubs again, and then we'll go and have a bit of a look at the results. Here, we'll start with the hybrid. So I said when I was hitting it that I thought the flight was pretty penetrating, and certainly when I looked at it on here, it is. If we look at the ball speed, 148-ish really, which is pretty good. Spin down at 3.7. Carrying sort of 234-ish, but then running out to 254, so we've got like 20 yards of run on a hybrid. So that's probably a bit more than I'd want, unless I was using it as a kind of off the tee kind of club, you know, maybe a links fairway finder kind of thing. But that's not really what you get a hybrid for. You'd normally get like a driving iron for that kind of shot, but certainly I was impressed with it. It's the lowest launching hybrid that I've used for a hell of a long time, and I actually quite like that about it. The thing like I said, when hitting them, I really hate is when they just pop up straight in the air and don't really go anywhere. But this one, you know, we're getting that really strong kind of ball flight that we're looking for. Height-wise, down at 82 feet, which is certainly lower than I'd ever hit anything really. When we move on to the fairway wood, again, the numbers are great. So I said before this, around that 250 to 260 mark carry, and we're getting 260 here. And around that 270 to 280 mark, well, we're actually getting 284 here total. So a little bit longer than kind of the average that I'm getting with most fairway woods that I'm testing. So yeah, pleasantly surprised by that. Really good. If we look at the height at 93 feet, kind of around that 100 feet mark is where I'd normally hit a fairway wood, maybe a few feet higher. And moving on to driver, we see ball speed over 170. Those of you that watch videos that I do regularly know that anything that's above 170 for me is pretty good. And when we're looking at the spin, down at 2.7, a little higher than I would normally like to see there. But again, I think we could have some tweaks around with the driver potentially and look at that. Like I said before, I'm using 9 degree, which generally I wouldn't use that much loft, but you know, it's a bit of a play around with it. I think that might help. Because people that even my level don't swing at the same 2 days running generally, even the guys on tour probably don't, so they're tweaking driver lofts and setups a little bit along the way, and certainly club golfers like yourselves will be doing that a hell of a lot. If we're looking at carry, 295, 317 total, that certainly stacks up with a lot of the drivers I've been testing. So the QI10, I think was 318 when I tested that. The Paradigm AI Smoke about 319-ish. So they're all around that same 2 or 3 yards there. So very negligible difference between all of them. But, you know, I would say it feels great off the face. It feels, you know, a bit more forgiving than I was expecting it to. But those kind of, as you saw in the video, I hit a couple of Healy ones that just shot off to the right, but that's me, not the driver doing that. The performance was very good, and that's maybe why the spin's climbing up. I've got a bit of the rights today, to be honest. I've hit a few sort of pushy ones out there and not really hit that many that have turned over left, which is generally my normal stock draw shot. On kind of the bad ones might just draw that little bit too much. So, you know, looking at the shots that we've hit there, pretty happy with most of them, and certainly it's been great to hit some shots with Titleist clubs for the first time in a while. Hopefully you've enjoyed that video. I've certainly loved hitting those, and you'll see loads more content from us where we're using Titleist product going on into the future. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Be more than happy to answer them, even if it's about anything to do with fitting, not just Titleist. Keep your eyes peeled for loads more videos coming to the channel, and I'll see you all very, very soon.